The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews of the following program are solely of the individuals and are not the views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Are You Afraid? COVEN, the unofficial American Horror Story COVEN internet radio show, exclusively on Papi Chulo Radio. Today is Monday, October 21st, 2013, and I'm your host, Papi Chulo. Here on Are You Afraid? COVEN, we are going to recap, review, and dissect the latest episode of the hit FX series. We are going to deliver directly to you the biggest news regarding American Horror Story COVEN. So you're going to get all of the casting scoops, episode titles, ratings reports, and spoilers during the latter half of the show. But don't worry, we're going to warn you with a spoiler alert. Please welcome my bewitching co-hosts. First up, we have Darielle.
Hi, you guys.
Next up, we have Deadly.
Hey.
And last but not least, we have Miss Kitty, Cat's Meow.
Meow.
Awesome. Okay, let's jump into episode 202, which was titled Boy Parts, and it aired on October 16th, 2013. We're going to first start up by reading the official press release for Boy Parts. Fiona helps Zoe and Madison deal with a horrible tragedy. Delphine LaLaurie struggles to adjust to modern life. Cordelia faces a dark decision about her family. So I want to get everyone's initial feelings, initial reaction to the episode without going too deep into what the episode was about. Just your initial feelings. Did you like it? Did you hate it? That kind of stuff. So we'll start off with Cat's Meow.
I thought I liked it. It was definitely I don't know. There's so much going on though for me as far as just like the whole sex and whatever the fuck. I'm just ready for us to get into the whole interrogation. That's the only thing I'm really excited to talk about. But it was good. It was good. I wished there would have been more about Marie Laveau. I really like the banter between her and Fiona. I wish there was more of that. That's the only thing I could say negatively about it, though.
Okay. What about you, Darielle?
I agree. There was a lot going on this episode, and it kind of grossed me out too, as far as when Emma Roberts' character and Thais' character, what they were going through, that kind of really grossed me out for whatever reason and made me uncomfortable. But at the same time, that's what American Horror Story is all about. So I wasn't extremely surprised, but I did have a bit of cringe. There were a bit of cringeworthy parts where I was like, oh my goodness. But I don't really have anything bad to say as well. So,
What about you, Deadly?
Yeah, I got to say the same. I'm real squeamish with body parts and sewing and all that. It was just like I have to turn away a lot. Wimps. But you know what? I would love I could handle a whole hour of just Marie Laveau and Fiona, Jessica Lange and Angela Bassett just going back and forth. I love that in the salon.
I thought it was a pretty decent episode. I thought it was very strong. I thought all of the storylines progressed in at a nice rate, and it was really interesting, and it was nice to get to know the characters a bit more. And as everyone's been saying, Fiona and Marie, fantastic scenes. Fiona and Delphine, fantastic scenes. It was a very entertaining episode, and I can't wait to see where they go next. So let's start off our in-depth recap by going down the bayou. Going down the bayou. No one's going to join in?
Going down the bayou.
Down the bayou.
Yes, that's from The Princess and the Frog, y'all. But anywho.
I know, that's my favorite movie.
You are very Tiana-ish.
I look like her.
Yes. So we're going down the bayou and we're following these men that trap or capture, poach alligators. I guess, these are the guys that unfortunately are behind all of the various alligator clothing that you can wear, the alligator purses and whatever the hell they do with alligators. I don't know. But apparently they do stuff with alligators, and these guys are definitely nefarious men that are doing bad things to alligators. They're killing the alligators, stringing them up on trees, and we run into a familiar face in the swamp, and it is Misty Day. She's not dead. Apparently her powers of necromancy allowed her to survive the burning at the stake that happened to her, that we got the chance to see during the season premiere. And she's not that happy. She's very peace, love, and hippie-ish, but hippie-ish with a vengeance, because as she was telling these men that what they're doing is all wrong, and that why would they kill God's innocent creatures just to be made into shoes, she used her powers to bring the gators alive, and they massacred the two men. I mean, they chopped their heads off, dragged them into the river, made them a nice mid-afternoon snack. So, what did everyone think of the opening scene, and was everyone excited that Misty Day is back? We'll start off with Deadly.
I love her character. I mean, I'm sure we'll get more into her and the whole Fleetwood Mac and all that Stevie Nicks stuff later, but I'm just loving her whole vibe, and it's just so cool. I mean, I love the whole her what do you call her power?
Necromancy.
Yeah, there you go. I just love how she can bring things back to life like that, and I was not even expecting that crocodile alligator to just chomp at him. It's like, oh yeah, I'm loving it.
I agree. I was so happy that I had a feeling she would be brought back, so I'm kind of glad they did it in the way they did, because we get to see how she works with the witches of the new school, and she's a witch of the old school kind of thing. So I'm happy she's back, and I can't wait to see how. That was present
day.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm saying when she was like hippie-ish though, like wasn't that back in the?
That was present day. That was on the TV.
Really? Wow, yeah. I'm way off. I'm way off.
I can understand though, because it did have that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was reading way too much into it. Like I was like, she's one from the 7, like. So okay, well, even so, I'm still happy to see how her character will develop, as she works with the witches, the other witches. So I'm excited about Misty Day.
I don't know if I'm too excited about her. I think she's really cool. I like her style. I like her body language. It's something. Her body language, and Jessica Lange's body language is everything in this TV show so far. I don't know how to feel about her as a character. Just I don't know. I think I knew she was coming back, but I don't really know what to expect quite yet, especially with her and her whole, you can feel a tenseness between her and Zoe. And that was kind of strange for me. Yeah. It was really weird.
Let's be honest.
And see, yes. Misty Day, she was like she was very persistent, and Zoe's just kind of like...
Exactly. And it's one of those things.
Let's be honest.
I really hope it doesn't come back to be something terrible. But, I mean, I really hope they just kill off Zoe, so I ain't tripping.
Oh my god.
She's boring to me.
Wow.
She's very boring to me. Yes, she is. To me, she's very boring. It's like seeing her character from first season. To me, she hasn't really changed. She's still the watery-eyed girl who dresses like a hipster. Only thing that's different, she hasn't blown a cigarette smoke in someone's face. Okay. But that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I don't want Zoe to die yet, at least. But I was really happy.
If she was a part of Nancy's coven off of the craft, she would have been gone. I bind you, Zoe, from doing harm against others and harm against yourself, and then she would have killed that bitch.
Yes. Well, thankfully, we're not watching your version of the show.
We're not watching the craft, the coven.
Yes, but I'm really glad that Misty came back. That she's less charred than the last time that we saw her. She's not barbecued. And I'm really excited about the prospect of her being on the show just because necromancy is a fascinating power to possess. And it'll be interesting to see if other characters that maybe we think died may come back because she has this unique power. So what we're going to do is let's follow this storyline first before we get into some of the other juicy aspects of the episode. So Misty Day ends up meeting some of the other characters later on in that storyline, but where we pick it up, I would assume, I guess a day or two after we last saw the characters, and they have the morning meeting with all of the other, what would you call them? I guess classmates, or what would you call classmates? I guess. Schoolmates.
I guess school
with the rest of the coven.
Associates.
There you go, the coven.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the coven has their morning meetings, and in this morning meeting, we are introduced to a little bit of Queenie's backstory back in 2012.
Yes.
She was working at a chicken shack, but apparently she was a smart student. She knew her math. And a customer complained about not receiving all of his chicken. And Queenie's like, I counted all that chicken and I know how much you had. You're trying to get a freebie. And he kept on arguing because he wants some more chicken. And so she dips her, not just her hand, but her arm inside of, I guess, the fried grease, or maybe where they fried the chicken. And you see the guy's arm just start getting all boils, and he's yelling in pain because we all know Queenie's power is that she's basically a human voodoo doll. So whatever pain she inflicts on herself, she can transfer that pain onto someone else. So that was an interesting way to get to know a little bit of Queenie's story. And she says that she didn't get in trouble because there were so many witnesses and no one saw her throw the grease on him, obviously because she didn't. And that's how Cordelia learned of Queenie, and that's why Queenie was brought to the school. So after that, they don't get a chance to chat anymore because a couple of officers, detectives, arrive at the school and they want to question the girls about what happened with the frat boys and the bus. And so they start grilling the girls rather lightly, in my opinion. I mean, they were just sort of doing a lot of hypotheticals, and they had proof that Zoe had gone to see some of the frat boys, and that one of them, shortly after she visited, died in the same mysterious way that her boyfriend died. And so Zoe cracked like a stool pigeon, and I mean, she just broke down. I mean, she was like, yes, I have the power to kill with sex. She's a she does telekinesis. We're a coven of witches. We're all witches. This, that, or the other. She's selling everybody out. So, of course, Fiona comes in, and the gentleman asks her if she's in charge, and she said the best line. She was like, of course, I'm in charge everywhere. No one liked that line? Well, I love that line. I thought that was fantastic.
It wasn't one of my favorites.
I think she had better ones, but okay,
yeah.
go with it. Go with it.
I thought it was a pretty neat line. I was like, this bitch is like HBIC, like everywhere. So anyway, so she takes them into her office, and she does this interesting thing. I mean, she gives them just plain old water, spits in the water, and uses that to control the men. Although one of the men apparently maybe is a believer and grew up sort of knowing how to fight certain people's powers or something like that, maybe. But he was resisting, and she broke him down, but he was really resisting. Got to the point to where he was shaking, he was sweating, blood coming out of his nose and everything. But she eventually got to both of the men, convinced them to give her all of the evidence and to forget all about the girls and their involvement in anything. So Fiona goes up to the girls, basically threatens them. She calls Zoe weak and that she shouldn't fear anyone, that both of them shouldn't fear anyone out there because they are more powerful than people, but they all should fear her, Fiona. So later on, as a way to thank Zoe for doing what she did with we'll call him the head frat guy, that she used her sex powers to kill him, they go to the morgue, and she has this spell from a spell book that's written in Latin that what is it, like how do they call the spell? It was like
I can't remember. I was still trying to figure out when she said I tore it out of Foxy's notebook or something.
Yeah, well, Cordelia, her last name is Fox.
Oh, I was like, who is Foxy? I thought she was calling Queenie Foxy, but
no. Racial shade.
Racial shade. But anyway, so she had this spell that could bring back the dead. Let's just call it that. That's the easiest way to say it. But unfortunately, because it was this big accident, everyone's bodies were sort of chopped up. So there's like a head here, there's an arm there, there's a leg there. So Madison had the idea to basically build the perfect boyfriend. Take apart from here, take apart from there. Is he a grower? Is he a shower?
I liked that line.
Okay, congratulations. And obviously you would. So, so they sort of build what they consider to be the perfect guy, using obviously Kyle's head as the head. And they stitch them together, and they start performing this spell. They have to use blood, and they have to they use blood, and they start reading some of the lines. They had to get some of Kyle's hair, and they start reading from the spell. And
did you figure the name? Is it black magic? I'm just thinking.
That's what I thought it was. But my favorite part is when she was like, "Are we doing something with Satan? Because I'm not down with that."
Yeah, she's like, I'm not down with that. I don't.
And it was funny because
devil.
Yeah, I'm like, did this bitch just read my mind? Because I was totally thinking about that.
I thought the same thing. Was she's like, I don't know if she said Satan, Lucifer, or something she said, but we call upon the Dark Lord or something like that. And I was like, whoa,
girl, I'm not down with that. He can stay dead because this ain't happening.
Yeah, no, it was definitely dark magic. But so they finish up the spell and they do everything that they're supposed to do. They do the blood sacrifice and everything, and nothing happens. They think the spell is a dud, or they did something wrong, or maybe they read something wrong, and so they're about to leave, but Zoe wants to say a final goodbye. So Madison heads to the car, but as she's heading to the car, she sees someone driving, that's coming to the morgue, so she ditches Zoe. And so Zoe says her goodbye. She kisses Kyle. Would you have kissed Kyle?
Yeah. I would have.
No.
Like, I don't. To me, she wasn't kissing him any of the wounds. It was just like, I would have kissed him on the forehead and been like, bye. Shit, you've seen so much crazy stuff already, and you've been through so much. What harm could kissing a corpse do?
Because he's all dead and nasty and decayed and no, I wouldn't kiss him.
Well, I don't think
he's not decayed
or something, whatever. I don't even care. A dead person's decaying to me. I don't care. I'm really damn. That's nasty.
We're all technically decaying.
Exactly. That's why I don't kiss anybody.
Oh God. Okay.
Forever alone.
As she's doing this, Misty Day apparently feels. She feels some sort of calling from Zoe. Apparently Zoe has developed this new power that she can summon people that she needs. and Misty uses her magical energy of necromancy and ends up bringing Kyle back to life, probably at one of, well, I don't know, maybe it's an opportune time, maybe it's the perfect time, but it's just as Zoe's getting caught by one of the morgue workers. He attacks the morgue worker, bashes him in the chest and knocks him out, and so they leave. She swipes his keys, they get into his car, and they start driving away. He can't talk, he's very Frankensteinian.
Yes.
And starts going crazy in the car, and then Misty Day pops up in the back seat, and she's like, you need to do a Yui, and I'll tell you where to go. So they head back to her cabin. She uses moss and gator poop to rub on.
It's the shit, literally.
Gator poop to rub on Kyle's stitching wounds, and she's like, this will heal, you know, blah blah blah. And so she goes and is ecstatic to meet someone that's like her. She's like, the only person that I knew before you that was also much like me was Stevie Nicks. She's the White Witch. She's playing Stevie Nicks' music. She's all jamming. She's very lesbianist with Asa, aka Zoe, and it seems like they were about to kiss, and it didn't seem like Zoe was about to fight it away. No one agrees?
I thought she was a little bit hesitant. I don't think it
was. Yeah.
You said what?
She was willing.
I don't know. Maybe she was fighting the feeling a little bit on the inside. Like, I don't know if I should do this or not. I've never done this before.
I think it was one of those things where she's like, this bitch is obviously crazy. I mean, because it's one of those things.
If they end up doing it, it's not like she can kill her.
Well, yeah, but still, like, she has feeling. Well, I don't know. All I know is when she was like, listen to the music, doesn't it just penetrate your soul? I was like, girl, I love me some Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks, but Landslide has never, ever penetrated my soul. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. But kudos to you, girl. All I know is that she was serving Stevie Nicks the house down, and I loved it. Like I said, I love her body language and just how she delivers. She don't need to talk. She can just stand around and move, and she'll still deliver the same thing. She's amazing.
Yeah. So to wrap up this storyline, basically Kyle was going to stay there overnight. She being Misty Day was going to care for him, make sure that by the next time that she saw Zoe, or that he saw Zoe, that he would be much better, a little bit more rehabilitated. And she inquired with Zoe if she was going to return, and Zoe said yes. And also Zoe lets Misty know that there is a school of witches, and maybe one day Misty can come and join them. But she seems happy in the swamp, in her home.
Yeah.
So what did everyone overall think of this storyline? Madison and Zoe, Frank and Kyle, Misty Day, and everything like that. We'll start off with Miss Kitty.
All I have to say is, maybe in another century, you can have two. That's it. Like, that was the best line in the entire.
That's later. That's later. Good.
But I'm just
not
saying,
even gotten to that.
I'm just saying, so that was the funniest freaking thing ever. But as far as the line with Misty,
No,
and
the
Zoe
funniest
and
freaking
Kyle,
thing is when she bit into the chicken.
No, that was horrible. I felt Simon's pain. Hungry as hell. That chicken looked good as hell too. But anyways, back to Misty Day.
No,
I mean, I personally think. I mean, I like Misty Day. I prefer her character over Zoe. As far as the whole Frank and Kyle thing, it's weird to me. I really hope that they can really help his motor skills and he can actually like talk and everything, because this body language shit, this whole I'm banging my head against the window, it's not working for me.
It's
really not.
I feel like
I'm sorry, I feel like I'm just gonna get annoyed with it really quickly.
That's exactly how I feel. I feel like it's just too slow. I'm like, look, okay, I know he's not going to be on the show just grunting like a Neanderthal. I need him to do something now because this is working my nerves. Like I need him to just come back, Kyle. We know you're going to be regular on the show, but I hope it's not like this the whole time because you're not going to get an Emmy that way. You're just not. You know?
But there's no Emmys to be because Kathy Bates is going to have all of them and Jessica Lange is going to have all of them. So.
This is true.
But still. But I like the storyline, but if y'all could just kill off Zoe really quickly.
Saying that, Tater.
Y'all can I don't know, do a whole like mob thing with pitchforks and shit for Kyle, and then Misty Day will join the school. That would be awesome, but I don't think Misty Day is going to join the school. I think she's happy where she is, and she may even bump heads with some of the witches in the coven. That's how I feel, though.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll say this. Well, I like Zoe. I'm not on the cat's meow train of hating on Zoe.
She's so boring.
But I will say this. In my opinion, they're kind of repeating the season 1 storyline. It's one of them's dead. They really love each other. They're trying to get them accustomed to this new world and stuff like that. It feels very much like a retread of season 1.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys completely glossed over our girl Queenie. What you were recapping before, and all her one-liners. I loved.
Bitch, I'll eat you.
Yes, bitch, I'll eat you. Don't forget pencil dick, and don't forget the best one to Madison. So I grew up on Sabrina the Teenage Cracker. That was classic.
Queenie's storyline, I just kind of felt all sorts of stereotypes up in that, so I just kind of I was very offended by that whole storyline. I mean, I like how her powers came about, but
I can feel her pain.
You didn't think it was appropriate she worked in a fried chicken shack?
I think they were
paying homage to Precious when she stole the chicken. She's like, I stole it, but I run it now. I'm working for it now.
I thought her storyline was good. I mean, yes, it was very stereotypical, but it was one of those things like she was running the chicken place. And when you work in a food, I don't know if you guys ever worked in food service, but I had to work in a place where you fried chicken, and that's pretty much what it was like. It was usually, I worked in an area where lots of people of color came through, and it was always them trying to get over on you. Yeah, you got an 8-piece. No, you're not getting 8 breasts for $6. It's not happening. I could completely feel what Queenie was talking. And if I was a human voodoo doll, I would have done a lot more than just put my hand in the fryer. I probably would have found a way to put my entire body in that fryer so I could fuck his shit up. But I like her story, and I really hope that they just don't have her sit in the background giving out fabulous one-liners and then eventually die. You know what I mean?
And I'm glad you kind of cleared that up, Poppy, because I was a little unsure about the part with Misty and Zoe when Frank and Kyle was awoke. I didn't know if that was the kiss of Zoe that did that, or if it was the calling of Misty Day. And I guess it was more the Misty.
Yeah, it was Misty Day.
Yeah, because they kind of made it like a fairy tale kind of thing. Kiss from your one true love, and you realize, no, that's just me, girl. This is me. I hope, yeah.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
Yes. So let's move into probably the shortest storyline of the episode, Cordelia and her fertility issues. It seems that fertility issues happen every season on American Horror Story. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to see it, Cordelia's been trying to get pregnant. I believe that's her husband. That's her husband, right?
Baby daddy husband,
whatever he is, Hank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hank. So she's with Hank. They're at her doctor trying to figure out what to do next. Apparently, the treatment that they've been doing hasn't worked at all, and so he's mentioning in vitro, and so Hank asked the doctor to step out, and he's like, well, why don't you just use witchcraft? Why don't you use your magic? And she says that she doesn't want to because the spell that she would have to use is sort of some of the black arts, some of the dark magic. But he ends up convincing her, and she collects everything that's needed, including some odd-looking eggs. And they basically get ready. They prick their fingers and they suck each other's blood and rub the blood on each other and get butt naked and start having sex. And then the eggs crack and snakes come out and Snake starts rubbing all over their bodies, and she's cowgirling him. Then they're missionarying each other. And
you were taking notes, Poppy.
I was like, okay, I need to find those giant eggs and practice. But okay, what did everyone think of this? Was it at all interesting to you to sort of see some of the different types of magic that can be used, especially to help fertility issues? Were you at all surprised by me that the giant eggs, like billions of snakes came out of each egg? And yeah, so what did you guys think of the overall storyline, and where do you think this storyline is going to go? We'll start off with Deadly, because I know you have those giant eggs.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. First time everyone said that, but yeah. You know what? I do kind of like the erotic, the sex, all that stuff, but that character I'm still not feeling her. She's even a bore in bed, even when she's got all this magic.
Even when she's riding to bed?
Yeah, she's still boring. I was like, oh, can one of these snakes strangle her or something? I'm like, oh Lord,
you're just nasty.
Y'all a mess.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not completely. I'm interested to see where it goes. I mean, what kind of?
Would you have rather have seen Queenie Precious having sex?
Oh no, you did not say that.
Something told me she would be just damn. She'd blow your hair back.
Yeah, the whole thing with the plants. I mean, she's just so much into the plants and and then one thing that confused me though. Did the husband does know she's a witch? Obviously, before that, that's what confused me a little bit.
Yeah, I think that could be assumed.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, on to the next because I'm not feeling her.
I had to disagree. They could have kept that storyline. I didn't I don't know. I did not like it. I did not like seeing them fornicate. I did not like any of that.
You didn't like to see white people hunching?
It ain't got to do with them being white. It was gross. It was just gross.
Hunching.
I just haven't heard that word.
It's a good word, isn't it?
Hunching.
It was just too much going on. Like, that is doingthemost.com. That whole scene.
I think that gave Cat's Meow life.
It did, Hunchin. I'm sorry. That shit was fucking funny. Okay. I'm gonna have to agree. I don't really care for unnecessary sex scenes.
Exactly.
If I wanted that, I would watch the first season of True Blood. But I'm over that. I'm a grown woman. I can get my own sex. I don't need to watch two people do it. As far as I'm just gonna be that person. Their technique was all wrong. Like, I've had obviously, I like to think that I'm pretty good and about knowledge of sex, but what the fuck was that? They were sitting Indian style and doing all sorts of.
Yeah, the Indian style one was kind of weird.
That's not possible. I hate to break it to you, unless he was having sex with her belly button. It's not possible.
Maybe that was the point.
As far as the whole snakes thing and then this and that and the whole fire and ring of fire, I don't know if that was supposed to be a symbol for hemorrhoids. I don't know what the fuck's going on. All I know is that it was very unnecessary, and when her eyes went black, it reminded me of Supernatural.
Oh, see, I didn't even notice that.
It ran way too long.
It was really weird.
Barbaric. It was nasty. It was just, no. If
I wanted to see people hunching, I would just go on Pornhub and watch the pros do it. Because obviously, Cordelia, Deadly, you are correct. She is a bore in the Ring of Fire.
See, at first, I didn't agree with you guys by saying that, but just this episode in particular, I kind of have to agree with you now because it's like she still has this look of I want to do so good in her eyes, and I'm like, do something bad, do something interesting.
Exactly. Girl, the way, I'm sorry, if you was trying to make your mama be proud about the fucking you was doing on that floor, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She gonna have to cash you out the coven. That hunching you were doing, girl, it was sad. It was so sad, girl.
I feel like Hank is just mean. I feel like he's gonna like turn on her or something. I don't know.
Are you talking about her husband?
Yeah, I don't feel like.
I have a feeling that he doesn't care. The fact that she said that she's not comfortable with it, and that it's one of those things like she's playing God, and it does deal with darker magic. Everybody know you don't fuck with darker magic, and the fact that he's just like, you don't let the doctor play God. Don't play. You think you cute. You think you keep trying to get underneath my skin, and I hope their hunching gets better because
he's gonna cheat on her. She's gonna. I feel like this is my prediction. This is not a spoiler.
He's gonna have sex with the Minotaur.
Ew.
I feel like Cordelia's dark side is going to be brought out because he's going to be tired of the fact, oh, well, maybe her, hunching sucks. And so he's going to be with another woman and she's going to walk in on it and all her dark shit's just going to come out. I feel like she's going to just turn real.
And that other woman is Queenie.
Or shut up. Or my prediction as far as he goes, I personally think that maybe he has like a darker side and that it's not going to work out. She's going to learn the hard way. It's probably going to be a weird, eerie kind of flashback to the second season when she was raped by Bloodyface and was warring his child, and his child ended up becoming a serial killer just like Bloodyface did. Maybe it'll be one of those things where she didn't know who she was really dealing with. He's probably evil as all get out,
Yeah, I agree. I can see that as well, but I just don't really like her as of right now. She needs to do something interesting besides that.
Well, let's move on to some people that you like and that are very interesting. So let's go back to the beginning of the episode. Before we jumped into this morning meeting, we saw Cordelia waking everyone up. She knocks on the door of her mother's room, and Fiona answers, and Cordelia lets her know about the morning meetings and that it would be nice if she would show up. Fiona says that she's busy, and Cordelia references the mysterious odor that's coming from her room, and I think she blames it on Indian food or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
She blames it on food, and we see that she has stinky Madame Delphine Lalaurie tied up to, basically like a prisoner of war or something, to the chair. And she starts to question her. She's like, I want to ask you a couple of questions. If you yell, she threatens her. Obviously, she takes the thing off and the woman yells. So she puts the gag back in her mouth. And then Fiona's cell phone rings and it freaks Madame Lalaurie out. And so that's the end of that. Later on, we see Fiona try once again with Madame Lalaurie. Lalaurie had no idea that she had been underground for 180 years, and she tells the story of her imprisonment. Apparently, after awakening from the poisoning that we saw during the last episode, she found Marie Laveau, who had promised her a love potion outside. She was flanked on all sides by other individuals, other followers of hers, and they were ready for some sort of something. Shit was about to go down. And Laveau informed Lalaurie that she didn't want her dead, that she wanted her to suffer. And so she pointed to Lalaurie's family, who all were hanging in front of the Madame's house. And Laveau says something like, don't think they didn't suffer because they did greatly. And and so she says, for your sins, you are damned to live forever, never to be reunited with your loved ones in the far beyond, to be alone in an unmarked grave forever, listening to the world go around you even until the world is no more. And so she puts Lalaurie in the coffin that we saw her in, and obviously we know her fate. And so Fiona basically says, "I'm sorry for your loss." She bites into a chicken leg and says, "Wanna bite?"
I love this whole scene.
Yeah, so before we go into any more, what did you guys think of these two scenes between LaLaurie and Fiona? Did you at all feel bad for LaLaurie? And I'm not saying...
Hell no. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying maybe feel bad for... Well, let's say this. Did you at all feel Kathy Bates's performance? And especially since she is playing such a despicable character, yet maybe at that moment you maybe felt a little empathy towards what happened to her at all. Just
a little bit.
Yeah, she's in shell shock right now, and I feel like she's not even understanding what's going on around her. I mean, that phone rang, but there would be so many other things. I mean, it's been 180 years, and it seemed like she'd be tripping out a little more on everything. Like, I'd be tripping out on the different kinds of cars. I mean, the lights, everything. And I think she's just shell shocked. She's just there, just just staring into space.
I did not feel bad for her at all. If it would be one thing if she didn't heinously torture every single black person, but man, I don't know. I hate to say, because I know her family did die, but I mean, she killed families in a way, or tortured families. So I was just kind of like, oh, well, sucks for the daughters, but I mean, you kind of had it coming. I'm shocked you didn't feel it.
No more boudoir for one of them.
Okay. I really love the line that Angela Bassett had said to her. She said, what did she say? "You will never have the sweet release of death." When she said that part right there, I felt it. I was like, damn, that's kind of deep, because a lot of people just take that as an easy way out. Like, well, I'm going to die soon, no big deal. But nope, she has to experience all the anguish, and she has to relive it in her head over and over again. So that was the perfect punishment for her.
Yep. Could you imagine if you're in that coffin and you need to poop?
Oh.
Well, you need to poop, you need to eat, and it's not like she can starve to death. So she's just going to have hunger pangs and shitty mouth for ever. I don't know.
I felt a little bad. Just a little, because it sucked what she did, but she lost her family. And I can, I don't know, it's something that she said at the end of the episode. It was kind of just, damn, I don't know, it's truly one of those things you never know what you got till it's gone. But let's touch on something real quick. Did anyone else get a feeling of macaroni off of holes?
Yes.
When she was like, for all,
Madame Zeroni up there.
Your family will be cursed all eternity. When she said the sweet release of death, I was like, Madame Zeroni, that's right there. But as far as that scene, I really enjoyed it. Anything that has Kathy Bates and Angela Bassett in it, I'm living for it. And Jessica Lange, just that those scenes. Just all together, you got to learn a little bit more depth about what happened.
We need to get the three of them together.
Yeah, it was just it was a really good scene. The only thing, like I said, I did feel a hint of Madame Zeroni, but just that part when she was like, "Are you hungry? Or you want some?" She was like, "I'm not hungry." You damn Skippy, you're not hungry, because you've been in the damn ground for almost 200 years. You've heard a lot of things, but
it's funny how she hasn't lost any weight.
No, she hasn't. Don't be. She still got that waddle. But I will agree with Deadly that she is a bit shell shocked. I mean, shit. When you're back then, you didn't. What the fuck was a telephone? We don't know. And now there's these weird devices, and she can tell that. I can't wait till she warms up, and hopefully they put that bitch on Twitter. Was
I hearing anything? I don't know if I heard this right or not, but did she refer to African Americans as black? But then obviously when you go back in the day, 180 years ago, she said the N-word. But don't you think the N-word would she still be saying that today?
Did she use black? I know she called Queenie a slave.
Did. Yeah, she said
it was there, but before that,
you calling a slave?
But before that, she was explaining something to Jessica Lange, to Fiona, and I swore she said black, and I was
because she did say nigger bitch.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and see what that, because I think they made a mistake there, because I think she would still be calling them the N-words and slaves. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with everyone. I thought both scenes were outstanding. I mean, just having Kathy Bates and Jessica Lange in the same room, riffing off each other, was phenomenal to see. So let's continue on with this storyline. Before we follow Jessica Lange to the hair salon, let's actually talk a little bit about Nan. So Nan is just chilling, relaxing, you know.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all sweet.
Just shooting dummies all out of school.
That's basically what Nan is doing, sitting in the chair.
We need more of her. We need more of her.
Yeah, she's reading a book.
She's like super
she's flipping
cute.
through a magazine. She's just relaxing. And all of a sudden, all these voices get in her head. And she follows the voices and she's like, "You're thinking too loud." And so she unchains Madame LaLaurie. She's like, "There, now get out of here. You think too loud." And in comes Queenie, and Queenie's like, "Who the hell is this?" LaLaurie pushes her out the way and says, "Get out of my way, slave." And then she's like, "Who are you calling a slave?" And then it was Madame Delphine LaLaurie in the hallway with the candlestick. Did anybody get that reference?
I'm done fucking with you today. I'm going to bed.
Bam, right on top of that.
That was a Clue reference.
Like, damn.
And then down Precious goes.
Damn.
Precious Queenie.
Yes, she goes down.
Queenie Precious is what
Yes. Okay, so everyone compose themselves because we're about to head to the beauty shop. So
I'll take you to the beauty shop.
yes,
Get her hair did.
Fiona heads to a beauty shop in the 9th Ward. We didn't find out the name of the shop, but in one of the press releases,
Cornrow City.
we know that it's called Cornrow City.
Oh,
And she's getting her hair done, and she goes to the beauticianer that's helping her out. "You're not used to having a white woman in your chair, are you?" And so then she goes, "Not used to having a white woman in this neighborhood." And
Boom.
so,
Boom splat.
yes. So in comes Angela Bassett wearing, some gold and chilling and looking all...
She was wearing one of my drag costumes. Like, she was serving,
It's
though.
so
Like,
regal.
she was serving 80s Dookie Chain realness.
There you go.
Like, she looked like she walked
With
out of a
twist
music
braids
video.
and everything.
Girl,
Janet
she had
Jackson,
the
Poetic
singlies.
Justice.
Ghetto princess.
Yes.
Ghetto queen.
Yes.
Ghetto Nubian queen.
Yeah,
Girl,
so in
she was
comes
serving.
Marie Laveau, who obviously has not aged a day since we saw her in the flashbacks to
Black
the
don't crack.
1830s.
No, it don't, Deadly. Black don't crack. It
Yes.
don't crack.
And so basically Fiona says something like that, and they get into a little thing. Marie Laveau goes something like, "Woman like you wipes her ass with diamonds. She don't just walk in here for hair extensions. I know exactly what you are, witch. I can smell the stink of it on you."
Damn. That right there. I lived for that moment. And the way, I like the fact that it wasn't Angela Bassett. It was truly Marie Laveau. The fact that she said, "Woman like you wipes her ass with that." Like, it wasn't women like you. Like, she's straight up like, "Bitch, I'm gonna take you back to the plantation." Okay.
No.
Even though she was born a free slave, she was like, "Bitch, I'm gonna take you back to the plantation." Okay. A woman like you. Okay.
I tell you what scares woman. That's what that reminded me of. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Good night. I'm going to bed. Fuck you guys.
Like me.
Like,
Me.
it was everything. Her broken English, the fact that they brought up Tituba, like, girl, I love the entire thing. Y'all need to ask me about
So we
it.
learn a bit more about the rivalry between the witches and the voodoo priestesses. Apparently, the rivalry is, like Fiona says, kind of like a hammer going after a nail. And so, much like Cat's Meow mentioned, we learn a bit more of history. We learn that Tituba, who Fiona called a voodoo slave girl who graced
It's how she
us
said it, though. That
with...
you slave girl.
Yes, who graced us with her black magic. She says that Tituba couldn't tell a potion from a recipe for chocolate chip cookies. And Marie goes, "Well, you made her a slave." And according to Marie, Tituba came from the Arawak, a tribe of Native Americans, supposedly the first tribe that Christopher Columbus met upon arrival arriving on the shores was the Arawak, which implied sort of that the witching world is torn along almost continental lines. You know, the white witches, which emigrated from Europe, and the Arawak-derived line of Tituba, which would be sort of like the voodoo. And according to Marie, Tituba learned the secrets of the other side from a 2,000-year-old line of shamans, necromancy. She goes, she gave it to your girls of Salem, and Fiona basically said, which I love this line, she was like, you want to tell me some illiterate voodoo slave girl gave me my crown? And Marie said, maybe you haven't heard the news of civilization starting in Africa. So, I don't know, it was a really great tit for tat, and basically Fiona confessed that the reason she was there is she wanted what Marie already had, eternal life, and she insisted that she had something Marie wanted, and Marie goes, you could offer me a unicorn that shit $100 bills, and I'd never give you more than a headache.
Yes.
Woo! Loved it.
Yes.
But Fiona had Marie's number as well, and she almost set the hair salon on fire, and she ended their talk with, nice to see you doing so well after all these years. Maybe in another century you could have 2 shithole salons.
Cat's meow loves it.
Now, okay, let's correct. She didn't try to set the salon on fire.
Well, you could make the illusion.
She kind of
like,
threatened,
like,
don't F with me because I will set this on fire.
No. Like, you guys, you're not seeing, like, she wasn't trying to intentionally set it on fire. If you listen to what the people were saying, they said that hair is worth more than gold. She set their human wigs on fire.
Ooh.
Because she did that on purpose. And that's when she was like, put it out, because she's fucking up their business. Anyway,
that Brazilian wavy just, ooh.
Yeah, like if she truly wanted to set the place on fire, she would have set it on fire, but she was fucking with their heads by setting those wigs on fire. Everybody trying to get that Kim Kardashian look with that Brazilian wavy, okay?
Got the Brazilian wavy, curve.
You know, and if they wanted, they like, it was one of those things, like, I was like, damn, my heart started to hurt. Like, shit, like, you know how much a weave costs, and you just set like 6 heads on fire? Bitch,
and then after all of that, she didn't even like her. I don't like it. I almost want to
that was a great line.
I do agree with Fiona on that, though. It didn't look that good after all that time working on it.
I noticed in
I didn't even think she got hair extensions.
She did. I've noticed in scenes of shows or movies when they're like doing hair, you can tell they really don't know what they're doing. They're just kind of like, you know, acting, because they always do the same thing. Nothing ever changes. It's nothing extravagant. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't like, you look like the same thing you came up in here with, so I wouldn't like it either. It was just weird.
It was enjoyable though. But like, how you going? I mean, you should have put a little bit of work into it. I thought fucking Fiona was gonna come out with like Beyonce hair, like freakum dress.
She was gonna come out with them Singalese twists, like, hey.
Exactly. But also she came out, she was like, I don't like it, bitch. The reason you don't like it because nothing happened. There's so much banter going on and so much like.
Ain't nobody got time to do hair.
If I'm coming all the way down to the 9th ward, you better hook it the fuck up and give me what I wanted. Okay, a little comb and brush ain't gonna do nothing. I want the Beyonce.
I need you to give me the twist on the side. I need you to do something different.
I need some finger waves. I need a Starship Enterprise in the back. Make it work.
Michelle Obama bangs, maybe something.
Yes, that's what I want. Give me the Cassie right now.
You say this is cornrow city. Give me some cornrow.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I would have lived if she came out with cornrows.
The Bo Derek. That's her name, right?
So she hooked her up with the Bo Derek. I would have been like, okay, like, all right, y'all ain't fucking around this time. I got y'all. I got your number. I got you.
Poppy control them. They got Jessica Lange cornrows. Come on.
I'm trying to. So later on that night, we see Marie Laveau in. I wasn't sure. Was that her house or was that still supposed to be Cornrow City?
No, it was her house.
Okay, so she's in her house. yelling about making sure people clean up the Popeyes chicken that they had. And we go back deep into her house, and she's talking, saying, "You won't believe who's back." And then we see someone chained up, and she's unchaining them, and it's the Minotaur. So apparently she gave the same potion to the Minotaur that she gave to Lalaurie, so that the Minotaur could have eternal life as well. So.
Okay, now I do want to see the sex scene between that. Now that would be everything.
I don't.
Yes.
That's bestiality.
That's something you have to
That's not bestiality.
You have to click on a private window or something. Or delete all your cookies after you've seen it. That sounds disgusting. One thing that really confused me when she was unchaining him, because that's supposed to be like her lover. And it makes me wonder, is she chaining him up to make sure he doesn't go anywhere? Or has he, just turned into a complete animal that he's forgotten how to be human? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That was one thing that really confused me. I was like, if he's supposed to be, your lover and someone that you're supposed to, I guess, be with or whatever, why the fuck is he chained up?
This may be a dumb question, but can he not take off the head anymore? Is that not an option?
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't know, because I don't know, why is it still there? Did she do so much damage to his face that...
I don't think she did, though. I don't think she truly caused any damage, because it looks like she kind of just put the head on. She didn't sew it on or anything. She just...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what
we don't really know. I mean, we only saw the scene where she put it on. We don't know what happened afterwards. Sure. So I'm assuming we may see more, and we may get a bit more of an understanding as to why he's still that way. So we move away from Marie's house, and we see that Fiona obviously found out that the Madame left the premises, and we see Lalaurie outside of her house, and the woman's not happy because she sees that her home is now a part of history. It's a museum of horrors, and Fiona says something like, "You're not remembered fondly," but I guess that beats not being remembered at all. And Lalaurie tried to argue that she was a woman of her time, but Fiona cackled, "You've got a mean streak wider than your backside. If 10 of the hundreds of things I've read about you are true, then you deserved every minute under the dirt." But Lalaurie tries to make a plea for Fiona, at least, to try to understand her, and she goes, "They took my babies, hung them in a straight line. My husband too, him, I didn't care about. Planning on killing him for weeks, poisoning his buckwheat." But
nice accent, Poppy.
Thank you.
I know, right?
Apparently she didn't care what anyone else thought about her. She continues on by saying, "I loved my girls in my own way, even the ugly one. The moment she came out of my belly, she was a shame to me. She had the face of a damn hippo, but I loved her just the same."
What you got the face of? Let me stop.
She got that waddle, though. She's already admitted her demons, Dario.
She's got the walrus.
She's already said it. She's got the walrus, and that's something she's already come to grips with. But it's different. Her daughter had a hippo face. That's something you just can't take back.
Yeah, and so she closes out this monologue by saying, "Hell is real. I've seen it down in that box." And so Lalaurie asks Fiona if she would kill her. She asks her if she's a witch, and Fiona said maybe at some point, but first she threatened her, "Run away again, and it's back in the box for you." So I want to get everyone's reaction to the episode as a whole, and as well as their opinions on what's to come. I thought it was a fantastic episode. I'm kind of interested in a aspect from the conversation between Laveau and Fiona, because Fiona told her that she insisted that she had something Marie wanted, and I think we're all supposed to assume that it's Lalaurie, but what if it's something else? What if there's something else that Fiona can offer Marie Laveau? So I thought that was interesting, because she didn't specifically say, I've got Lalaurie. She sort of alluded maybe that there could be something else. So I don't know. Do any of you think that? Did any of you think that when you heard her say that, or did you guys just instantly think of Lalaurie? And what did everyone think of the episode as a whole? We'll start off with Deadly.
I'm just loving it because I think there's something for everybody. You have young witches. I was not feeling, the younger witches because I felt there was a little bit too much Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and I like that. I mean, you get younger perspective. I think it's just staying true to what would really go on in the young person's mind, and then you have the older witches. I mean, Angela and Jessica just going at it. I like too that they're taking like spots like the Chicken Place, like the Popeyes, like a salon. I mean, they're going out of like, the first season. I was really kind of getting tired of the house. I mean, we were in the house the whole time. Even last year, it's like we're just inside the ward the whole time. It seemed like. But this time it's like we're venturing out. I love the scenes out in New Orleans. Even just seeing Kathy Bates sitting there, just staring, on the bench. So I think it's going great places.
I have to agree with Deadly. I just cut you off. I apologize.
No, you good. You good.
Oh, I have to agree with Deadly. It's refreshing to see other parts besides, look at this room. Now look at this room. It's all in the same house, but now look in the basement. I really like that you're getting a really good feel for New Orleans because New Orleans is a very supernatural place. There's always some type of things going on as far as of covens and voodoo and ghosts and this and that and the other. You're really kind of just soaking in the fact that it is in New Orleans just from them being outside. From in the episode she said my vagina is sweating, like that right there. That it's it's really just it's showing it where it's being set at. Now
they need to hit up Bourbon Street,
please. Girl, I'd be getting so many beads. No, I'm kidding. But I really like it, but I still have to stick to what I said earlier. There is a lot of stuff going on. There was a lot of stuff going on in this episode as far as seeing Misty Day actually coming back, Frank and Kyle, Zoe and her weak ass. I can't say it enough. Weak ass.
She's soft.
Like, she's a
weak ass.
Like, this girl is softer than like baby dick. Like, she is soft as hell. But I mean. And I just want more Queenie. I want more Fiona. I want more Madame Laveau. I want more of that. But it was a good episode. They just need to switch something up so it's not like you're absorbing this. Oh, and now this. And like, oh, now it's time to go.
This episode gave me ADD. Like, it was just so much going on. The vibe I got from just this one particular episode is the vibe I got from the whole second season. Just too much going on. Way too many storylines. I just kind of needed it to at least focus on one part. So I had to kind of like, okay, wait, what did I miss? Kind of thing. But I am, definitely excited to see how things progress with everything except the whole Cordelia infertility thing, because that's just something I'm not interested in at all. But again, like I agree with Cat's Meow, more Queenie, simply because I just love her character. I definitely can't wait to see, like I said earlier, how Kyle progresses, because again, if he has this whole caveman act thing for any other episodes, I'm going to be really, really, really pissed off, because that's just unnecessary. They need to make him talk or do something, move, be with Zoe or Violet, whoever she wants to be this season. I wanted to kick her ass this episode after snitching like that. I just really wanted to jump through the screen and just fight her ass.
Snitches get stitches.
And hit like bitches. Bitches. I can't deal with her.
She's just lucky she's not in Nancy's coven off the craft, because that bitch time ago.
She'd have all her hair falling out.
But falling out. I don't know what I did to deserve this.
Exactly.
Like, that's exactly what happened. Marsha Brady got what she had coming to her.
I loved the episode. I thought it was fantastic. It progressed at a great rate. You guys may have had ADD with it, but I loved trying to keep up with all the storylines and seeing everything that was happening. I can't wait to see what happens next week, especially since our most precious one seems to have a run-in with the Minotaur. So since we're talking about next week, it's a spoiler alert, listeners, if you don't want to hear anything about upcoming episodes of American Horror Story Coven, I suggest you turn the volume down low because this is a spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
We only have one press release for an upcoming episode, and it's for episode 306, which is titled The Axeman Cometh. Zoe, Queenie, and Nan make contact with a dark spirit trapped in the academy. Cordelia's new power brings on a heartbreaking revelation. We also have some ratings information for this episode. After last week's record-setting premiere, you might expect FX's American Horror Story Coven ratings to slip for the second episode, and you'd be right. Coven delivered 4.5 million viewers and a 2.5 rating among adults 18 to 49 on Wednesday evening. It was down just 17% from the premiere. Not too bad, actually, so it's holding up pretty well. There's also a little bit of scoop from the showrunner, Ryan Murphy. On E-Online's spoiler chat, a fan submitted the question asking for a little bit more information on Dennis O'Hare's creepy silent butler Spaulding, and Ryan Murphy had this to say: "It's a different season in that it's very, very female heavy, but Dennis O'Hare will speak. He eventually does." And E-Online also heard that he'll be having, wait for it, a sex scene later in the season. Apparently,
I was like, ew.
Apparently,
him
Ryan
having
Murphy
a sex
says
scene, the best part of him is gone.
when Ryan Murphy says that the men stuff really kicks in around episode 6. That's when Danny Houston comes on board with a really great adult love story that I'm quite proud of. And we learned last week that that love story involves Fiona. So there's also some more information that Kathy Bates actually teased on TVGuide.com during their Megabuzz posting. Someone asked about Kathy Bates' character, and Kathy Bates had this to say: "You learn a lot about her and some of the more dark aspects of her character and why she's gotten her reputation," she teased. Apparently, Madame LaLaurie's absolute worst experiment will be revealed in episode 7, and TV Guide says, "Believe me, it's much worse than the Minotaur incident." So, I don't know if that's something we should be looking forward to, but it's definitely information on what's to come.
I have a feeling, it's making me sick just thinking about it, but I have a feeling
that tonight's going to be a good night?
That tonight's, no.
Beat me to it, damn it.
I just feel like,
if
you read about her character, you know, so she's a very sick person, and she's very just fucked up in the head. I'm sorry. But I have a feeling that, because they did say that she had a bad habit of breaking her slaves' arms and legs and setting them to let them resemble a human crab. If that comes into play, I'm probably going to be so sick to my stomach. And if they figure out a way how to do it, and something like that does come along, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to lose my mind.
You just get a contortionist.
Like, I guess, but
I'll do it.
I'm excited, but I'm not excited to see what the fuck is going on. The fact that she has even more stuff that's hidden about her,
Listeners, is definitely like our Facebook like page. All you have to do is go to facebook.com/PCR, the letters PCR, and then you spell out the words, "Are you afraid?" So PCR, are you afraid? And you'll find all of the information that we talked about and so much more. You'll actually be able to see pictures of upcoming episodes, behind the scenes shots, teases, video clips, and all that kind of good stuff. You can also like Papi Chulo Radio by going to facebook.com/Papi Chulo Radio. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns, please email us at contact@poppychularadio.com. Listeners, you will always catch a new episode of Are You Afraid? Coven every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, here on Poppy Chula Radio. Whenever there's a new episode of American Horror Story Coven, you will hear a brand new episode of Are You Afraid? Coven. So, co-hosts, wish the listeners a great night.
Good night.
Meow.
Night, y'all.
Have a great night, everyone.